Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sharaglas. My name is Miriam and this is Afghan Cooks. I'm happy to be here back in the United States of America. I just spent 5 gorgeous weeks in Afghanistan and one of the dishes I did not learn how to make was macaroni, Afghan pasta. Let's make it. Turn the heat on our pan and add some oil. I'm using olive oil here. What's funny is when I said that we were making Afghan pasta, my cameraman, producer, editor, said, "Oh, did you learn that in Afghanistan? Is that from Kandahar or Kabul?" It's from Connecticut. I don't know what to tell you. This is something that I think is well known and loved throughout all Afghan households. Macaroni. It's not ash, but it's not spaghetti and meatballs either. It takes all the flavors that we love from ash, but from an American favorite of just pasta with meat sauce. So here I chopped up 1 whole onion. Feel free to use half, but y'all know how much I love onions. We're gonna let those soften up a bit. We're not gonna get them brown. We're just gonna get them nice and soft. Oh my God, I forgot to take my meat out of the fridge. I should go and do that too. Also, I have some water boiling for the pasta. Today I'm using penne. They didn't have regular macaroni at the grocery store that I went to. So the water is boiling. Cook your pasta according to package directions. So this is about 2 pounds of ground beef. Again, you can use ground chicken, whatever, veal, lamb. You can see those are now getting nice and soft, a little bit brown. A nice big teaspoon of salt. This is 3 cloves of just chopped garlic. We're gonna add this. You know, I just came back from Afghanistan. Maybe you didn't know, but I was in Afghanistan for about 5 weeks. I went to visit family and I hadn't been there in my entire adult life, but also as sort of a research trip for my cookbook and for the YouTube channel. But what I learned is that everything we do is okay. Every house has a different way of making every single dish. It's okay if you add potatoes to your bindi. It's okay if you make your eggplant thick, thin, whatever you do. Every household does it different. So whenever someone says, Afghans don't do it that way, they are lying, okay? Because you cannot speak for an entire nation just because you or your aunt or your grandmother made it a certain way. Here are the spices that give it that quintessential Afghan flavor: cumin, coriander, turmeric, and I added a little bit of paprika here too. So now we're gonna add our 2 pounds of ground beef to our pan. Try to remember to take your meat out of the fridge at least a few minutes before so that it's not this difficult to work with. Gets brown. Always remember, check your seasoning, right? Make sure there's enough salt, but it shouldn't taste salty. We know that by now. Okay, I'm going to throw in some black pepper, a couple more zhuzhes. You can see that that meat is nicely browned. No more red bits. One of the things I will say, the main difference in the food between America, the USA, and Afghanistan is that everything there is very fresh. You only eat what's in season. No pesticides or chemicals. The meat is so tender because it's all, natural, grass-fed. And so I went to a restaurant and I asked for spinach. I said, "You don't have anything? You don't have spinach?" And they looked at me and they were like, "You're not from around here, are you?" And they just said, now is not spinach season. And we're so used to being able to eat anything anytime we want and get it anytime we want that we don't even realize that that's not a thing in a lot of places. It doesn't even occur to them that you can get something out of season. 3 large tomatoes, and I'm gonna add those right into my pan as well with my meat. The longer you let it sit, the better it will taste. I am gonna add just a tiny little bit of tomato sauce because my kids like their Afghan macaroni to be a little bit saucy, about half of it. And I'm also gonna add a little bit of vegetable broth so that it doesn't stick, a 1/4 cup of vegetable broth. And we're gonna put the top on this and let it simmer and work on our pasta. Now we're gonna make our yogurt sauce. I did not buy krut, which I know is weird, right? But instead I bought some labna, which is also a good substitute if you can't find crut. If you don't like the taste of labna or crut, feel free to use some sour cream or just yogurt. Anyway, I have 2 cloves of garlic here. I'm going to set those aside. Here I have some plain yogurt, and I have 1 bag of pasta. So I want to make sure I have enough yogurt to cover the bottom of my platter and also to put on the top. That is about a good full cup, cup and a half of yogurt. Use the labna. See how amazingly thick that is, right? And I'm going to use about half a cup of that. Salt, and then about a tablespoon of lemon juice. Grate the garlic directly. Now I'm going to stir this so it becomes nice and creamy. Maybe you could use a bigger bowl than I did when you do yours. We're going to put this aside, check on our pasta, and move on to our final step before we put the whole thing together. I'm going to heat up a small pan and add some oil to it. It's about 1/4 cup of oil. And here I've got a few different kinds of greens. I have some Chinese chives, or you can use leeks. I have some small chili peppers and some parsley. It's what I had, so that's what I'm using. And I'm just going to put it all in this oil and let it kind of fry up together. Herbs is making it jump around, and we're going to let that sit for just like 30 seconds. I'm going to go grab something that I think everyone should have in their pantry. Fried onions. Because this is really one of the biggest pains in the butts when you're making anything and you want to add fried onions to it. Okay, you can see they're still very bright green. Turn this off and strain my pasta. So this has been simmering. You can see how beautifully saucy that is now. Now, if you don't use all of this, it's okay. Keep it. You'll eat it another day. Here I have a can of chickpeas. If you want to use any other kind of bean, you can too, but this is what we had. I'm just going to add it directly to this hot sauce because the chickpeas are already cooked. Now we're going to start layering it all up. Here I have my mustard. We're going to add that to the bottom of our platter first. You can see how nice and thick it is. I'm going to top this with our meat sauce. And then we're going to add our pasta. Some more meat sauce. A little bit more yogurt sauce on top. Greens that we fried up. If you're really feeling into it, you can add some crispy fried onions on the top. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe, why not? You're already here. And I have so many more tales to tell, which is why you should hit the bell icon so that you'll know every time I make a new video, and leave a comment. Did your mama make macaroni when you were growing up? Did she make some sort of pasta dish that wasn't exactly like your American friends' pasta dishes? If so, let me know what it was. Until next time. I'm not doing it anymore. I refuse. Baby, say you love me 5, 6, 7.